I'm gonna disassemble and clean this mini crooked reaver. I've done the large crooked reaver before. However, I miserably failed. I stripped one of the screws, and I had to send it in to Benchmade. I also cracked one of the wooden scales, which Benchmade replaced for free. I haven't done anything as far as disassembling of this knife. It came from Benchmade. It's still good. I don't think it needs any service as of right now, and it works really well. It's very flickable. However, this mini crooked reaver is getting where it needs service. It's not opening as, it's okay, but it's not as what it used to be. And it's getting to that time where it needs service. So I'm gonna do it again. I feel like I failed with this full-size crooked reaver, but I have confidence that I can do it with this MCR. So let's get into this. So it's a little bit different than most Benchmade knives, just because it's got that bolstering part and it's got this wooden part. They're different parts. So there's just a little extra things to worry about as you're doing this. But other than that, it's kind of in the same vein. The process is similar. You do have more parts to worry about, just because of the way the design is kind of working with the combination of using aluminum and diamond wood. It requires you to have extra parts. So always almost all of Benchmade's, the pocket clip screws are longer, so be mindful of that. Now, so we have all these things. So as I remember correctly, these aluminum bolsters are attached to the liners by a hidden screw, which is hidden underneath this wooden part. So first thing you need to do is take apart the wooden parts. And that's these two T6 screws right here, if I remember everything correctly. And pay attention to what are the screws that you're taking out, because they might be different depending on where you get them out from, different lengths, so just pay attention to that. On this side, they're just the female receptors of the screws, so you don't have to do anything over here. So you took out these two screws. You should be able to take this piece of diamond wood out, and be careful because it slides in there. So don't pull from this side, because you have to slide it out like so. And those two little wooden lips are what's holding it inside. And there, inside, you have that screw that's holding the aluminum bolster, right? So that's the hidden screw. You couldn't get to it until you take the wooden part out, right? So that's what makes this knife disassembly a little bit different. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this aluminum bolster out, I guess. I may not be able to take it out. Anyway, but I'll take the screws out. Right away, I think like these screws should be shorter. Like this little screw should be shorter than all the others. Just what it seems from the way it looks. And sure enough, yeah, it's shorter than the ones that go into the back spacer. The one on the left is the one that's from that bolster. So yeah, just pay attention to that part. Continue on. Now we have this where the knife stopper is, this screw. So yeah, this assembly is just a little bit trickier than all the others, but still, you know, when it gets down to it, it's the same thing. So this screw is the same as the one from the backspacer, and I don't think you can take out this bolster because it's still being held by the pivot mechanism over here, so you have to take the pivot off. I'm gonna continue taking stuff off of here. Yeah, this disassembly is just a little bit trickier than all the other ones. So go ahead and take out these ones. They are the female receptors for the screws. They have 2 flat sides. Just go ahead and take them out. If I can't, they are not wanting to get out. Okay, they're out. So now take out this wooden part, like so. You see, it goes. It has 2 lips that go inside there. Just take them out like so. There you have, and there's that final screw that's holding this bolster here. And remember, this screw is a little shorter. Now we have now these bolsters will not come out because they are being held by the pivot. So we have to take off the pivot next. And actually the backspacer can come out as well. So the pivot is T10, unless you have a Chinese clone. In that case, this channel and this video is not for you. All right, so that taking out that T10 bolt. I see lots of old thread locker in there. Yeah, this knife needed some. So this will come out. This orange thing. Right now it's being held tight in there, and I don't wanna mess with it right now because I will scratch it up. I don't want that. Oh, remember to pull on this access lock, and then you can push out the pivot. Hopefully. In my case, I cannot. I'm thinking maybe there was a lot of, oh, I got it pushed out, but I think there was a lot of thread locker used, and that kind of got, you know, jammed in there, and that's what prevented the screw from coming out, pivot screw. All right, so I can see some little bit of debris. It's not too bad. All these knives are not too bad. So the bolsters will come out now. The bolsters will come out. There they are. This part, the orange part, is not attached in any way. There's ample amount of oil in there right now, but as well as some, you know, some debris. So here we are at this stage. You know, it's kind of, it's always the same. Free up one of the legs of the Omega spring, free him up on both sides, and then remove the access mechanism like so. And here you have it. And now you have, you can separate the 2 liners. Oh, this is a blade stopper thing that goes in front that will fly out like it did. And you see there's some debris over here, some oil some of it is old, some of it will just wipe right off. So at this point, you know, I'm gonna clean everything because the knife is completely disassembled. So I'm just gonna grab a microfiber towel, which is very good for cleaning all this. And then I'm gonna get to cleaning. All right, and we wanna clean the bronze washers, which are pretty big. I think they're the same size as for the large crooked river. Pretty big bronze washers. I think this knife should have a pretty stable action once we're done cleaning it and putting it back together. There's your blade for MCR, S30V, great steel. All right, very nice. Okay, so I like to wipe the axis bar as well. Just give it a nice rub. Very carefully, I like to rub the Amiga springs as well. They may have some oil, some old oil. Lost the ability to speak for a second there. All right, so that's nice and wiped. Let's just wipe the back spacer, just for the heck of it. I don't know if it's dirty or not. Like, let's wipe the pivot. Why not, right? We've already done the disassembly. Let's wipe everything. Let's do the bolsters. The orange parts will come out, so be mindful of that. They're not supposed to stay in there. These ones are staying in. Maybe some thread locker spilled earlier and they're kind of being held in place, which works for me. I'm not gonna do anything about that. I'm not gonna get them loose or separated from the bolsters. That works for me. You know, I like them where they are. I don't need anything. I don't need to do anything about that. This is the same way. You know, I'm just gonna wipe it. I like the orange thing where it is. That works for me. All right. So, and you know, like with everything, to put it back together, you do the same thing as you did to take it apart. So let's get to it. Install this blade stopper thing. Put the other part of the scale on top. Then we're gonna install the axis mechanism. Take it like this, and you put one of the Amiga springs through here, through to the other side, and then the whole bar threaded through, like so, and then put each end of the Amiga springs in its groove on either side, like so. There you are. Very good. All right, so how do we want to do this? Because it's a little different with this. So it has to go with the bolsters. It has to go with the bolsters. Get the bolster, right? And I'm gonna say, get it installed, okay? I'm gonna put this screw in. I'm gonna get the bolster installed. And you know, I'm starting from the bottom, you know, I'm building from one side. Oh no, 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 no. Don't do this part. Because this is where the screw is gonna be. This screw is gonna be on this side. So you want this side that's gonna have this part. That's where you want to build it from. So you're gonna start over here on this side, because this part, if it will focus, this part goes on this side, okay? So we're gonna start building from this side, and that means we need the other bolster. It's gonna go right here. And go ahead and secure that with a screw. because that's where you're gonna put the pivot in. Because on the bug out, on some other models, you put the pivot from the other side, but on this one, you put it from this side. I don't know why, maybe it's, no, my full-size crooked river is the same way. So I think this is correct. It's just, it's just the way it is, guys. I don't know why. The quirk of this knife. And install this little one as well at this point. Just go ahead and install it. You may want to loosen these because you will need, possibly, you will need to move that liner around to get the pivot in. All right, so we have to do it in a mirror fashion, like not like we normally do, like from the bottom on this side. We have to do it from the bottom on this side. So I'm like, I'm lost because I'm so used to doing it the other way. So what we want to do is we want to take this blade, right, and start oiling it and like putting the washers on it. And because I have this huge tub of Militech 1, I'm gonna overdo the oil. I can feel it, but it's okay. I'll wipe the extra. Okay. Okay. So the washer, I'm gonna put it like this and then flip it because there's enough oil for both sides. And do the same thing on this side and just flip it. There's so much oil. And then the excess oil, I'm just gonna wipe it with some paper towel. I don't like to have too much oil. Unnecessary oil attracts dirt, so we just need enough for the mechanism to work. We don't need it to be spilling everywhere. And I'm gonna say that's enough. The only thing is I have to learn how to do it from the other side. I've never done it like this. All the other knives so far, besides the crooked river, are the pivot goes from the other side. Right, but the idea is the same. The idea is the same. The idea is absolutely the same. So, I'm just gonna struggle and do the same thing just from the other side. So you put the blade in, you grab your pivot with the flat side facing top of the knife and start installing it. As you do that, make sure to pull on the access mechanism as you do a little push on that pivot. And while you're doing all that, make sure to use your tool, whatever you have there, to push the washers out of the way. I feel so unusual doing it from the other side. I've done it so many times from this side, from the other side. Oh well, it is what it is. You gotta go with the program. If that's what needs to be done, that's what you're gonna do. Just have some patience, guys. As always, a little patience goes a long way in all these things. And just little by little, it goes in, goes in. Oh, almost got it, sir. Almost got it. And just keep. Okay, we got it, ladies and gentlemen, we got it. So now the pivot, okay, it's almost in. Pivot is in on this side, the bolster is in. The only difference is with this MCR, Mini Crooked River and Crooked River, you have the pivot going in from this side. On all the other knives in Benchmade, the pivot goes in from this side. Somehow, they decided to do it differently. And as you can see, that's not a big deal. You can still do it. You know, nothing to it but to do it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these. Get them reasonably tight. Don't over tighten, nothing, ever. Next thing is I'm installing the back spacer as well as the back wooden part. And threading these things right here, okay? That should be hopefully not too difficult to do, but we'll see how lucky I get today. And all of this is just about the proper alignment on everything. Just see what you can get one of those first, see which one will go in, and maybe use your tool to kind of push the spacer out if you need to. And just try to thread it through. You will get it. You will get it. I promise you. Okay. It's going in. Yeah, I got this first one, right? Now get the second one and just, you know, same process. It's got two flat sides, so it can only go one way. Check with the other side to see what you need. And just repeat the same process for this other side. Maybe like push the wooden part a little bit one way or another, and eventually it will go through. So it went through both of these. Very good. All right. So at this point, the hardest parts are done. Go ahead and install the other bolster. Right? This is the other bolster. Go ahead and install that. Huh. Don't want to speak too soon, but I was expecting more trouble from the MCR. I mean, it is a little tricky. I'm not gonna lie. It is a little tricky in every regard. There are these extra screws. There's an extra way to get the bolster out, you know, extra parts, but it's a beautiful knife. That's what you have to deal with. You're going for that design. The design is beautiful, phenomenal. The knife is gorgeous, famously beautiful. Crooked River, mini Crooked River, just two of the most beautiful knives out there. Some of the most beautiful knives. And if we have to deal with a couple more screws for that, I say that's still a good deal. Beauty has its price. Reasonably tight on everything. Don't overdo anything. Have any concerns, use some thread locker. But I'm just gonna get it reasonably tight. And the thread locker we're gonna reserve for the pivot. Now it's very flicky, very nice action. And the pivot screw is not in yet. That's coming next. So, and before I do that, let me go ahead and install the pocket clip. I'm installing it for the lefty carry. You may have a different idea. What a beautiful knife, both MCR and CR. Gorgeous. Gorgeous knives. Also, like, you don't want to over tighten these screws because they may crack the diamond wood. At least that's what happened to me. Or at least that's my story and I'm sticking to it. All right, guys. So at this point, I just want to check this action. I like when it's flicky like that. I like this access lock action. So you want to keep it that way, but with the screw installed. So what's going to hold that screw in place is only the thread locker, right? Because you are not tightening that screw. The thread locker is holding it. All right, so you can see what I'm doing. Quick dab at the very tip. Not a lot. Okay, just a tiny, tiny touch. And then install that screw. If you tighten the screw all the way, the knife is going to be bricked. It's not going to open, right? So once you tighten it all the way, you know, it's not opening. You want to walk it back a little bit, just enough so the knife starts working, you know, as tight as possible, as loose as necessary. It's not loose. So that's why walk it back, no worries. The thread locker is gonna hold it. Ah, nice action. There is no play, you know, and that's what I'm talking about. These washers are as big as for the big crooked river, you know. I think they're the same size. So that's why, you know, there's like no play on this knife. It's good. Ah, I'm the master of crooked rivers. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day.